Hi, I'm Andrew Cain, State Politics Editor at the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Happy election night. I'm here with some of my colleagues from the politics team to talk about what we've seen so far. While it's too early to draw any conclusions of yet, our reporters have been out and about in the community today. Let's start off talking about some of what we've heard. Eric Kolenich, you were out today in Henrico, and Dave, you were out in Henrico. Dave Ress, you were out in Henrico as well with Governor Youngkin. What did you hear from Governor Youngkin?
Well, the governor is his usual upbeat self. I heard some very familiar themes about tax relief and backing the blue. Did hear a new line about party of hope, his party of course, and party of fear, the bad guys. But it was interesting. It was very low key. You know, he's handing out sample ballots, saying, "Hi, I'm the governor." The conversations he was having with voters, at least in Henrico, were as much about what they did for a living as anything else. He did say, however, that while confident that he was going to meet his goal of flipping the state Senate, holding onto the House, it was going to be tight, down to hundreds of votes in some of the districts.
Eric, you were out at a precinct in Henrico, a different precinct. What did voters have to say?
Yeah, so I was at Deep Run High School in western Henrico. And the voters there are, they're two of the big races there, which Donovan versus Van Valkenburg in the Senate, and Gibson versus David Owen in the House. Abortion was on the top of people's minds, and people had a lot of different opinions on abortion. Some people said, I'm pro-choice, and so I voted for a Democrat. I voted for Democrats on the ballot. One person said, I voted Republican because all I heard the Democrats say were abortion. I wanted to know a lot of other issues, and all the Democrats hit was the abortion topic over and over. One person even said, I usually vote Republican, but I'm not crazy about how the Republicans are pro-life. I think Republicans should consider being more pro-choice. And so, abortion made people vote in a lot of different directions today, but abortion was on a lot of people's minds.
Charlotte, Rene Woods has been out with canvassing with candidates and voters, and you were also out in the community in Richmond today. What are you hearing, Charlotte?
Yeah, I've been in and around Henrico County, Chesterfield County, Petersburg area, and also within Richmond. Being that this is sort of an off-off election year, during the canvassing, some voters, they got excited when the candidate knocked on the door. I already voted for you, or I'm taking my son on election day so he can experience his first time voting. And then sometimes the voters needed a nudge. They needed to be reminded, hey, this is happening. Obviously, as Eric pointed out, abortion is huge. Partisan control of the chamber, because some people are very hardcore. They want the R or the D. And then more locally, Southside Richmond has been a mixed bag on the casino. And it's too soon and too early in the night, but there's a chance that it could be voted down again, as it was 2 years ago.
Okay. Dave, you've had some anecdotal reports from how things are looking, at least initially, in some key battleground areas. What else are you hearing?
I've been hearing a fairly good turnout, particularly down in my old stomping ground on the peninsula, where unusually there were, because of the same-day registration capability, a lot of the students at William and Mary have been lining up hundreds at a time to vote, to register as Williamsburg residents and then vote.
Same-day registration?
Yep, exactly. That's the race that's Senator Monty Mason against former York-Pocosin Sheriff Danny Diggs. And then up in Loudoun County, where Russell Perry, the Democrat, and Juan Segura, the Republican, are battling it out. Lots of big bucks being spent there, and turnout looks pretty good too.
As you mentioned, the same-day registration, that's just one of the factors that are going to require a little bit of patience as we wait for tonight's results. What message do you have for folks in that regard?
Well, some of us are going to be up really late tonight. Looking initially at what the State Board of Elections is reporting, the challenge is going to be finding out when precincts are really fully reported, because they are supposed to count their early votes and absentee votes. I am seeing precincts reporting as being reported without those votes. In some districts, we're talking tens of thousands of early votes that could go one way or the other.
So we're going to have to be careful in reporting, as we always are, and we're all going to have to be a little bit patient. So I want to thank my colleagues Eric Kolenich, Dave Ress, Charlotte Rene Woods for joining me, and we invite all of you to stick with our coverage throughout the evening and the early morning hours on richmond.com.